Hello and welcome to this week's Survivor recap. We don't have Big Brother to talk about, so it's just Survivor tonight here on Crazy Hank TV. And just me and Jamie, just the girls hanging out tonight. Got
Just
my
us
pocket,
girls.
but he's traveling, seeing a college kid and seeing some friends. And yeah, so maybe I'll pop in, maybe.
He's on an airline. Who knows what he can do?
Oh yeah, he said if he got a signal on the flight, right? We
Yep.
could get an in-flight like bomb into. I can't say bomb on a plane, but you know what I mean. Bomb into a plane. So
Yes. Like a photo bomb, but not because it's a plane.
well, like into
We don't say that.
our yeah. So this week with Survivor, it's getting a little complicated with some of the things that are going on to remember what everybody got and what they're doing, who said what, who knows what.
Yeah, there was a lot of setting everybody up around the campfire and,
And for
reeling
good or
them
bad,
in.
this was Brad's week to shine. He got a lot of airtime.
He did, unfortunately, be the last of his airtime, but
yeah. So
and it's a bummer.
I think he ended up being a more likable player than I initially had thought he would be from the previews. So I did like him better than I thought I would.
He's very enthusiastic and friendly, and he seemed to really have a passion for the game. But whoopsie doodle.
I just think he was too excited to play. Too excited to the point that he just got so.
Right. I don't know. I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what else he could have. I don't know. Did he trust the wrong people? I mean, clearly. But it's not like he had other options.
I think he thought if he told people about it, that would make earn trust. They would go like, "Oh,
well," and he's not entirely wrong.
And keep him around because he's got this power, and he just didn't realize that was a giant target on him. She's not popping up. Whoop, there we go. So the poor Brad.
Poor Brad. He wasn't wrong. I don't think he was wrong to trust people. I don't think he was wrong to try to earn trust by showing them because he thought those were his alliance. So, but it didn't work out. That JP drats.
It was really weird at Tribal. I thought. In fact, I watched it again tonight. And the Tribal itself, like Brad didn't talk at all. Like JD ran the entire Tribal. Like he got so much talk about broken crystals and trust, and
that really weird, long-winded,
It was weird that I didn't think. No, I don't know if was JD really get that much danger? Did he talk them out of it? Had they already decided they were taking Brad out but didn't tell him? Because he got all the
that's a really hard one because I feel like she may have made the wrong choice.
Hello.
Hello, there she is.
Hi. Did I go out or did you go out?
We do-si-doed. You went out, we switched sides. It's cool. It's just a dance. It's just a dance between two ladies.
We're just doing my thing here. Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like maybe JD really was in trouble and then he talked them out of it. They're Tribal. That doesn't happen usually that often. Usually they try to edit it to make us think it's going to go one way.
Well, and he had to have talked her out of it because I don't know. I just cannot see the logic of getting rid of someone that has these powers who came to you to tell you about it. He didn't sneak or hide it. And she could have gotten rid of JD and still had that advantage in her pocket.
Right.
So, I mean, like, it would have been a win-win-win to get rid of JD, but He had to have, I mean, they must feel that he is going to oblige them in his debt to them. So we'll see where it goes. I mean, I think it
He
was a
admitted
risk
that
for sure.
he didn't do very well as he hoped to do in the challenge,
Yep.
and they all had admitted that Brad was a good person to have around, that he was strong and that he was good. So it makes no sense. Once again, we have a tribal where why are they sending that person home? I don't know.
I can't make any sense of it. But again, this is where it's hard because you don't really know the conversations that are being had. And this episode was really packed with um the power. You know, it was all about the
Right,
power. This episode was about the game, the power in the game, and not necessarily about the people and the interactions. Um, which I understand to push a threat along, that we got to do this, but it does tend to take away from any rational like comfort that you can come with to these people's conclusions because we
right,
didn't get to see why the who's or what's. So
right. We are left just to the editing and the straightforwardness of it, and who knows if that was really what happened or not. Okay, so
yep.
let's talk about the powers, right? Um, the first thing was they had the secret notes left in each camp for people to find,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
and it was that they had to sneak out of camp at night and go get on
Which
a
I
boat.
love. I love anytime they have to do like some kind of like double agent espionage, like sneaky, you know, whatever. I love
If
that.
you have to crawl in the sand, Jamie is there for it.
I'm all there for it. I'm there. Let's see this happen.
So they had to get on the boat and and then go to an island, and then on the island the three got to meet up, and it was similar to the challenges or the powers that they've had earlier this season where the three meet up, one from each, and they have to decide, do we risk it or do we, what is it, risk or reward, is that what it is?
Yeah,
Risk it
because there
or
was the tarp
stay
or there
safe.
was the vote.
Yeah. And at this point they don't have rice, they don't have a lot of things. A tarp, is it really going to matter when they're getting picked
Right.
off like they
And
are
you know,
from these
it's like
tribes?
if you look at the last I mean lots of seasons. The last lots of seasons of Survivor and they have a nice little, you know, by the second, third weekend, they have a nice little, you know, camp set up. They've got a shelter. They got, you know, some kind of roof over their head. It looked like they were just like laying out on the beach. Like it looked like there was no shelter at all. You know, when Brad's making his little like his Ferris Bueller like body double, it's like they're all just laying on the beach. Nothing.
Right,
It doesn't look fun.
right. And it's weird that they're out there in the open like that. Usually by this point they're a week in by now. You'd think they would have some sort of shelter built. I mean,
Yeah. But
usually
I
they
mean
do.
without
So
fire,
that
I
makes me think
suppose
that
I
they really think, but I wonder if they really think with three tribes, maybe they really think there's going to be like a tribe switch down to two fairly quickly, and they're banking
well
on
and
that. I don't know what they're
it
thinking.
would kind of have to be if they're doing 3 tribes, they're gonna combine them down to 2, and we have a week short on schedule, so
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah, that I don't know. It didn't look like a very comfortable camp. I'm
So
just
it
gonna
was
say I've seen some really nice looking camps, and this was not one of them.
Sydney, Tiffany, and Brad that got to
Yep,
go on their little secret boat ride. Now, at Tiffany's camp, they knew she was going. So I don't really
right.
think that she really had to sneak out of camp since people knew.
No, she
Um,
just, like, moseyed on down, like, no biggie.
really. They're like, bon voyage, have a good time. Say hello to your mother for us. But they get there, and right away, Sydney made a comment about Tiffany about, like, I don't trust her, or that she could just see she was playing too much or something.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, she was
and
like,
Brad's gone. So I don't think any alliance is made there. Brad's gone. The two ladies, Sydney's hip on Tiffany. I don't think
no,
it did
nothing
anything.
like, there was nothing that helped
No
the story
positive
along
moment.
because both Sydney and Tiffany were like, "I don't trust her. I don't trust her."
No. Mm-mm. No.
Nada.
So that was that.
Maybe we set up a future
Was it
nemesis story, though.
maybe if Tiffany stays around that long, which I can't even believe she's still there, but whatever.
Me neither. Neither can Jeff. Neither can Jeff giving her a 3.5 for her dives.
Then we have Brad finding the clue for the triple. I don't. What do we call this? The triple immunity idol, where all
the
three-way
immunity.
The immunity three-way. So he gets it. He gets his phrase. He's got the little broccoli phrase, right? And then, he says his little spiel. Now, does it have to be word for word?
I think it has to be. I mean, it has to be enough that the other persons that have the code are prompted to say their code, and I think that it counts.
Okay.
But they have to do it every time.
Every time. Well, Brad's gone, so does that mean the three-way is dead? Because no one would ever say that.
And that's what I'm wondering. Surely they're not going to just drop it at this point. They probably just have to it has to go back into the game, right? Be left for somebody else to find.
Oh, maybe there.
But now
I would hope, unless they end up making it that it's just a two-way idol where only the two things.
Maybe.
Because the one is gone.
But it's not like he had found it. It's not like he had found it and it's 3 weeks later and then he's voted off. He found it, what we are to assume, just within this week, right? So that would mean that they could put it back into play. Right. The only thing is that Jeannie knows it exists. But I don't know if anybody, yeah, I mean, he did tell, what's her name? He did tell her, but they know it exists, but maybe they'll go out looking for it with that knowledge. Or maybe they'll say, I don't want anything to do with it.
Maybe. Well, the fact that Xander had to say his thing again, right? And everyone has to be hip to something's going on when they're saying these weird things. Even if that other tribe hasn't found the thing, they have to be thinking, what is going on? Right? I would
hope so, because it's weird, right? And I know that he's done a good job talking about his dead relative butterfly thing, but I don't know. By the third time he says it, somebody has to go, okay, what's the deal? What
he has to package it a little better, talk about how he's homesick or he misses his grandma. Something he has to package it somehow, and say that when he's feeling down and or lonesome for home or
something, where it's not just a random
butterfly, and something to prompt that he would think that.
Right, not just some random sentence.
Yeah, especially
it's a little bit it's a little bit, though, if you think about it, if you have somebody who has said it twice, it's not bringing anybody forward. I mean, the following week, he goes to the immunity challenge and nobody says a code. He's not going to have to say it. He doesn't have to say it then. So, I mean, he could go another 2 or 3 weeks before he is prompted to say it again.
And it doesn't have to go in any certain order or anything.
No. And you can choose not to, I mean, you could probably choose not to say it. If there was some way that you felt manipulating the game that way would work in your favor, you could choose not to say it. I just don't see what the point of that would be, but you could. Yeah, I don't know. It's really uncomfortable, and it would be my nightmare.
The Blue Tribe, I don't remember exactly what their clue says, but their phrase seemed to be the easiest of the 3 phrases. What? Because it seemed more natural. But anyway, just take my word for it. Now, then they have the challenge, and the challenge was kind of clunky to me, I thought. Like, I didn't understand why they had to jump in the water and then get back up and then go and then jump back in. It seemed that part seemed kind of clunky. It was not my favorite. I liked the throwing the beanbag.
It just seemed about
pedestals.
That part was really great. I think the first part was really just about getting them exhausted. But usually when they have, it seems like when they have one of these where like you're out in the water and then you come to land and then you have that challenge or a puzzle at the end. The being exhausted part usually works as a team to get everybody together and get them wore out. But this was a weird one. This one seemed more like an individual immunity challenge. Up until that last part.
But yellow team, Yazzie, is that what it is? They won. They finally won something. And, good for them. Because I don't think they could take losing another player.
No.
The girls want to stick together, but I think they would have been stupid if they would have ended up losing, going to tribal, and voting out Xander over Tiffany. But
I agree. Yes,
that's just my opinion.
Yeah, so there's nothing about that I can disagree with at this point.
Blue team is still sitting at 6 strong. They haven't lost a single player yet. They haven't been to tribal yet, right?
No.
Right.
So here's the thing. Do you think a team like that, I'm trying to think back historically, but I can't really remember. I mean, we've had teams like this that just never really have to go to tribal until they're down to an individual game or down to 2 tribes. Mm-hmm. Do you think that this not having to go to tribal at any point, do you think that this is better for creating a strong alliance where these guys would stay together throughout the entirety of the game? Or do you think it's going to be worse because they hold on to people too long and don't get rid of those that would actually be dangerous to their game?
I think it totally depends on the types of personalities you have on a trip. You could have 6 people whose personalities don't clash and they could stick together till the end.
Right. Well, I mean, we're seeing so far that in challenges they work together well as a team, the fact that they haven't had to go to tribal.
And it seems like personality-wise, the only person that seems to be kind of rubbing people is Nasir.
Yep. And that's just because he's looking for trouble when there isn't trouble in case there is trouble.
Yeah. It's like, dude, pump the brakes. But there are 6 people on that tribe, and I'm telling you, there are 2 ladies on that tribe. I don't think we've heard her talk at all the entire season. Nope. Erica and Heather, never heard them talk. I don't even know. They might be mute. I don't even know.
Yeah, and what does that mean? And we have seen this weird. Before.
But we saw
where you have somebody who is like, you don't even see them, hear them talk, and then they rule the second half of the game. Maybe it'll be one of these.
And I wonder if that's what it is with them. Maybe one of these guys will go far, or maybe both of them. But Nasir wants to get rid of Danny because he thinks if they get rid of, this is what he told Sydney, if they got rid of Danny, then Deshawn would be so in their pocket, they'd be able to tell him exactly what to do. I think Nasir's not long for this game.
No, and it's, I mean, he just he needs to reevaluate the personality he's dealing with, because it's clear that he's a physical challenge. He does get that. Okay, this guy, and you can tell that he has some intimidation to that physical challenge, but by all appearances, again, I'm not living on an island with a guy in a sand shelter, but by all appearances, he seems to be somebody you could sit down and have a very clear, rational conversation with and work together really easily. Give that a shot first, maybe. I don't know. Before you start throwing his name out there, maybe give it a shot.
And he seems to have been he's finding them food and he's doing all of these things that's helping them survive on the island and stay strong as a team. So but this is one of those things. That's a person, if I was on that island, I would want in my tribe, because find me some fruit. Can I like eat that?
To eat.
Tell me. Right. I don't want to be weak and dehydrated and die.
Right. My game will be better. It's not just a comfort.
So he's got
My
that
game
going
would
for
be
him.
better knowing I was eating, knowing that we could win a competition. That automatically makes morale better for your team.
The social aspect.
Yes.
And that's sad.
That's that.
Wow.
It's important.
I just had to send a text to my son to tell him to stop streaming his stupid game. So blue team, yeah, I think there's some crack there. So I think that if they continue to win like this, well, good for them. They're all safe. But I think come any kind of merger, they're gonna jump ship. They're gonna look for other things. Right?
I would think so,
Probably.
but I'll say that it's probably not. It may not be the best move for them, because if they continue to not have to go to tribal, they've got the best alliance together that they can have until they're down to an individual game. So I don't know. I mean, it's hard too, because you're going to want to start getting rid of people as you get closer to that individual game that are going to present challenges for you. So that might get a little rocky,
But did one of us pick Danny as our final? Who picked Danny as their final? Picked Brad. Did you pick Danny?
He had Brad.
So he's got to repick. Aww.
Yeah, he's going to have to repick. I'm pretty sure that Sydney was my final.
Sydney? Oh, that's right. But yeah, I think some of those guys might be in it for the long haul, maybe. We got to see a little bit of Ricard tonight. Still like him.
Yep.
And maybe him and JD, now that Brad's gone, they're the two guys. Maybe they'll mesh it out, and maybe they'll have some good harmony in that tribe now. Chanel told a sad story about her mom making her pick who she wanted to live with when their parents got divorced.
That was really sad.
Yes, you could see her really struggling. She did not know who to vote for, JD or Brad. Who were we going to send home? And she was really, or they made it look like she was really struggling with that.
Well, I'm kind of like, I'm thinking to myself, okay, like if I'm production, like how do we fish out a personal experience that she can compare this to? Like, do you think she offered it up? Like, this is truly as hard as the time I was 8 years old and had to pick a favorite parent? Or did they have to pull it out of her, like what's something that really...
If that is some sort of trauma from her childhood, picking between this and that really, traumatized her, that might be something in her life that she has a really hard time making decisions in general. Right. Because I could see that.
Right. Or she could be a total pro at it, and production's just using the story to the advantage of giving us some heart and drama,
Maybe.
It's like,
maybe. But I don't know.
All I know is
she's self-aware.
I feel like she self-awared herself right out of a better deal getting rid of Brad, though.
Right?
I don't see it. Again, I don't know the dynamics that's happening there, but
my feeling on JD is that he's a smooth talker, right? He talked about being bullied. I mean, he pulled all the strings at Tribal. He talked about being bullied. Talked about how Survivor was always there for him. It was a show he watched since he was a kid, and how he's just such a fan, and like he really was pulling all of these little things. And
I watched a great interview this week with Adam Klein. Survivor winner Adam Klein, and he was talking about those people who are fans, and how careful one needs to be when they are a super fan and having conversation with other real fans of the show, because it can very quickly drive your game right into the ocean. Because you spend your time comparing notes about all of these things that have happened in Survivor and what you liked and so on. And it just takes one person to sit and view that conversation to immediately know what they're up against. So, and we saw that right away with with JD because he's talking about how much this game means to him. You got to be careful with those people that grew up watching this show. I mean, they've been running scenarios in their head while their brains are like the most absorbent time in their life. Like, I'd get rid of them. I'd be like, you're really sweet. See ya, kid.
I don't know what positive thing could come from telling people that, but I know two bad things that can happen. They can either get super freaking paranoid and be like,
Yep.
you gotta go, you know too much, right? Or they're gonna say their ego's gonna get hurt because they're gonna be like, you're not more of a fan than I am,
right?
I
just don't see it as. I feel like it's an important information to have in your pocket, but maybe not to share in the moment. It'd be bad. It could be bad. We see it all the time. We see it in Big Brother. We see it. You have two versions of the super fan. You have the super fan that tells everybody else how to win the game and not win it themselves. Or you have the super fan that keeps it really, really low key and knows what to do based off of other people's past experiences and can blindside and be a really sharp player because of it. But it's a new Survivor, so maybe all of it's useless at this point.
Okay.
It could be like broccoli trees. Trees on broccoli. I don't know.
I feel like a broccoli plant.
So it's like, I would have lost it. Christy would have lost it. I would have been like, I would have just started laughing.
He's a farmer. He legit could have made up something about how he's a broccoli farmer. Make it work, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. It was like his broccoli statement was a lot like an e-vote. A sad to e-vote.
It was a little e-vote-y. So yeah, that's what are we missing? I don't know.
Well, I think that's pretty much some of the most important stuff. I mean, that's really the whole game was wrapped around this power. So
yeah, tonight the show, last night's show was really the part. Well, last week we had some glitchy issues with our fantasy league. Right, we couldn't get the results.
Right.
And even 24 hours later, and I kept checking, and by the time it came back up, wouldn't you know it, I forgot to go back and check. I kept checking like relentlessly, and then I forgot. And then I was watching. I was watching last night, and I'm like, oh my god, I didn't put my picks in. So y'all went ahead of me, but that's all right. Right now in our league, after 3 weeks. Am I looking at the standings overall? I am. Woo. Okay, so my sister Callie, shout out Callie, whoop, whoop. She is in the lead, and she's in the lead by like 250 points.
Wow.
So I don't know if I need to take her out, make her forget to put her picks in. I don't know.
Girl knows things. She's got the inside scoop.
She does. And then, or maybe I should have her make my picks, maybe? I don't know. But then Mandy, JP is in third place.
Oh, JP.
So if he ever comes around, he could brag, but since he's not.
Yep, can't brag until he comes around, though, can he?
Then Maggie, then Ro, then you.
Yay, I'm not at the very bottom.
Out of the three of us, you're in the lead right now. But I'm not, and God's ahead of me by 10 points after he had such a sad first week. But yeah, Randy's right behind me. Randy also forgot to put his picks in. There were 4, actually, 1, 2, 5 of us that forgot to put our picks in this week. And I think it was because they had technical issues.
No, I would agree that is probably it.
No, that's So I wish we could have all had a bye week. Throw week.
It was a rain day on the island, man. It was nobody's fault.
Bad. Anyway, but that's still going on. So we'll see. Check back and see who. What was the? Didn't do it. So I don't even know what the mystery question was this last week.
I don't remember. I think it might have been this week. Who doesn't talk? Who doesn't get it? I don't remember. That
who goes to tribal but doesn't
might have been the
talk
week before, right? Yeah.
Tonight that would have been Brad. You didn't even know he was going home.
It would have been Brad.
Seriously?
He really thought he was okay. He had every reason to think he was okay.
Well, obviously production did too, because Jeff wasn't even pointing him with any questions. Because usually they have a game plan, right? They're kind of filming, they kind of know, and then Jeff kind of zings at them to kind of stir up.
Pulls it out. Yep, pulls it out. Instigating.
Yeah. They didn't do a very good job. Who will not have an on-screen confessional? That was this past week's.
Okay.
And there were only 5 people who didn't have on-screen confessional. 2 of those are from Blue Team that we've never heard talk once.
I think I picked Heather for that.
Oh, then you got it. Well done.
Yay! But truthfully, that's a hard one. If you kept that question around, that'd be harder the tighter it got. But
for sure.
Just got to keep picking that blue team. They're not going to do anything but win.
Who?
That blue team. That's what they're here for. They're the winners.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe we might have a winner there. Though my sister did text me a little while ago. She thinks it's going to be Sydney that's in trouble this next week.
Do you think so? Like maybe that's why we got to see a little bit more with her. Well, obviously she had that thing too. So
she says it's going to be Sydney or Nasir voted off next week. But I don't know how blue team loses.
I don't know. But Sydney has a personality, right? Not like a, hey, everybody loves me, wants to keep me around kind of personality. I think she has some walls up and some sharp edges, but that could really work in her favor too. We've seen some winners with those same walls and sharp edges.
Yeah.
Does she have the smarts? Can she do it?
Let's see how she interacts with some people. Does she have the ability to be softer when she needs to be and be tougher when she needs to be? Do you know what I mean? Because that would be a poverty game right there.
Exactly. That's who I was thinking of. Like she was able to direct in the right way at the right time. Even if she wasn't this warm, bubbly person, she knew what to do with the right people. So.
Right. Well, we'll see. We'll see. You know what? I don't think it's a bad pick. Just for a reminder, I picked Evie because I liked her bow tie. So
I like Evie too. We'll see where she goes. I like her. I think she has some. I think she has some possibility.
Well, I mean, I think if their tribe loses, Tiffany goes. I would think, but who knows?
I would hope
it's
so.
Been such who knows? It's been so, and if the green team loses again, because now they're down to 4.
Well, I feel like if someone was gonna get the axe in that group, and Jeff had anything to say about it, it would be Tiffany because he has pinpointed her out more than once in the middle of a challenge.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like he's
not being nice. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not saying that he's being cruel, but he is not like, you can do it. He's not.
Every once in a while somebody gets that kind of treatment from Jeff. It's almost like what are you even doing here?
Yep. Yeah, why are you here? Why are you here?
0% chance of winning. Who was that? Who did you say that about? That was a really good one, but I don't remember. I might have to Google it. All right, well, we'll see what happens next week. I predict it will not be the blue team losing the immunity unless it's something like, I don't even know. All of you have to, no one sits out and everybody has to stand on a circle because you guys only have 4, so you guys could win. Like everybody, that one where they have to get up on the thing? 6 people, that'd be harder. Otherwise, there will, because there's no way.
No way.
Yeah. But that's about all we got. Next week we'll be back with week 4 already. And God will be back. I'm sure he'll have lots of crazy, kooky stories to tell us about his airplane ride and how he tried to get on and chat with us. God, I really wanted to see him.
We'll have to see if he was able to.
People on either side of him. That was going to be great, but.
We'll have to see if he gets his free pork chop out of the deal.
Yeah, they had talked about going over there to Angus
something or another. I don't know. All I know is that it's a steak place, and they prefer pork chops. So,
well,
that's all I know.
One person prefers pork chops. Mr. Jack. Okay, well, that's it. I guess we'll get on out of here. You can follow us at our Twitter handles here on our screens. And subscribe to Crazy Hank TV. They've got some other things going on. Still doing that Leftovers rewatch, right? And
Great show.
Yeah, great show. And thanks, Jack, for having us. Subscribe,
Thanks so much.
notifications, and join us in the chat. Give us your
Chat it
big
up.
time
Chatty
feel
chat.
on what's happening in Survivor. All
Give
right.
us the knowledge. If you've got
All
the
right, guys.
insights,
We'll see you next week. Have a great one. Be safe. I hit it, but it's not turning off. It's just going.